All right, we hadn't practiced today, so I really don't have an update on injury-wise. Obviously, Days will be okay. Penson's been getting treatment, so hopefully he'll continue to get better, and we'll see what he can do today in practice. So we'll have a better update on that after practice and tomorrow as we go through shoot around and that sort of thing. Um, Ole Miss is big. They're physical. Um, They're going to really challenge us with changing defenses. This is going to be one of the first teams we play that changes their defenses quite a bit. They play the 1-3-1, they play a 2-3, they play man. So we're going to have to be on point against a variety of different defensive looks. Almost everybody we've played pretty much played straight man and maybe mixed in a 2-3. But they're going to mix in a bunch of different defenses. Their 1-3-1 morphs into a 2-3 or into man. So we need to do a great job there. Nasir Brooks, a big kid. He's a beast of a rebounder. He's huge. He's 7 foot. He's a big kid. He played at Cincinnati and Miami. Very, very good player. Ruffin, the point guard, McDonald's All-American. Tremendous player. Morel's shooting it really, really well. Who's a highly, highly recruited kid out of Memphis. Rodriguez has been a kid that's given us problems in the past. Very, very good player at the 3 and the 4. For them. Fagan's had some big games. He had a big game at Tennessee when Ole Miss played at Tennessee, and so coming off a big win, they took care of Kansas State at home on Saturday. They played really well against Kansas State. So be another challenge for us here in SEC play.
Rosters changed so dramatically in this league this year. Do you even look at game film from last year, if anything?
Well, you can look at, yeah, I mean, we do. We look at how they guarded certain actions. Of course, we don't run a lot of the same stuff we ran last year. So we look at, how they guarded stuff, how we guarded some of the stuff they run. I mean, they still run snap. They still run a lot of their same stuff. He's mixed in a little bit of new stuff, but yeah, I mean, you can get a sense on some things from last year's film.
Just curious what your message was to the team following the game on Saturday, and kind of do you feel like you're weathering a storm now that you just need to push through?
I mean, the message was, look, we got 10 SEC games left. We got to win quite a few of them, a lot more than we've been winning. We can't keep winning a 50% clip in the league, so we've got to win. We got to win quite a few of them, and we got to get to work. And so, I don't know about weathering a storm, but we've been besieged by injuries, and even Brandon Murray's been playing hurt. Eric Gaines has been playing hurt. Like, we've had some guys that we've been putting out there for major minutes that are banged up, and so that's just part of it. And there's a lot of factors that go into it, and we got to play through it. So. I think if we can get everybody healthy, we'll be better off on the backside and back end of things. But at this point, you just don't know if we'll ever get everybody back healthy again. So if we can't, we just got to patch it together and piece it together from here till the end of the season. But when Adam went down, we were very light on our depth, and when he went down, it puts you in a tough spot, and then you've got all these other injuries and that sort of thing. It stresses you a little bit, just in terms of your depth, and so we'll hopefully we can get back healthy. But we've done as good a job as we can weathering it. I think we could picked up another couple wins. I think we let a couple of them slip away, but you can't replace experience.
Defensively, you kind of mentioned this after the TCU game, but just
terrible. We gave up 1.17 points of possession, our highest by far. Really poor job guarding the ball. We made 42% of our layups. They made 52% of their mid-range jump shots. That's really tough to overcome. They did a great job. They whipped us off the bounce. We couldn't stay square in the seams. We got driven middle a ton. We got split. We couldn't get in 22. The real trick to our defense is getting in the press. Teams score .69 points of possession against us when we're in the press. That's the real trick. Our half-court defense is solid, but it ain't Ain't nothing special without that press when we can get them into late clock situations and force shot clock violations and force you to take rush shots at the end of the clock, particularly rush threes. And we didn't get in the press enough. We weren't. Our second line was very, very poor in the press, and so that all that stuff contributed to us. But it's been, every game we've been getting a little bit worse defensively the last couple weeks. And, part of it's we got guys out there a long time. I mean, Eric Gaines and Brandon Murray didn't come out in the second half. And so that's, that's part of it. But we've got to get better defensively. Is there a question there? I'm sorry. I just kind of took it.
That was the
Kind of took it there,
first
Matt.
three words of the question.
I apologize. I texted with Jareem yesterday, by the way.
Oh.
See your shirt.
Oh, yeah.
He'd be proud of you.
Yeah, that was a
Big win at Louisiana
huge
Tech.
win.
Yep.
Huge win. I was gonna ask about y'all's defensive 3-point attempt rate. Y'all allow a lot of 3-point attempts, but do you feel like teams are starting to find different spaces, find the right spots to get threes against y'all?
Well,
How do you adjust against that?
All that goes with getting beaten middle. Everybody says you can't give up a bunch of threes. I think that's a bunch of bullshit. Our analytics people email me after every game, and I've tried to nicely explain to them it's not giving up threes, it's the type of threes you give up. We charted it over 3 years, and people say, oh, your three-point defense is this and that, y'all leave them open. Yeah, some of it is that, but they're taking the type threes we want, and the passes aren't how we want. There's a lot of different things that go into it. It's not just, oh, you can't give up a bunch of threes. It's a certain type three. And the problem is the last couple games we've been giving up the wrong type threes, and so that has hurt us more than the amount of threes that we're giving up. It's the type threes that we're giving up. I don't want to get too much more detailed than that, but it's the type threes that we're giving up, not the amount. And I mean, if I'm not mistaken, I think TCU came into the game shooting 27-28%. They shot 27-28% from three. You'd have to go back and look at the stats, but I don't think it was like some out-of-body experience from them outside of O'Bannon getting going there for a couple minutes.
How do you balance using that full court press? I mean, obviously you guys use it off of made free throws and just kind of off of some important makes and out of timeouts and stuff. But just how much has kind of, I guess, changed with y'all's full court press, and just how much y'all have been able to use it the last couple weeks?
Well, the biggest change is we got guys out there too long. The biggest change early on, if we could, I would love to kind of get everybody back healthy and get back to the rotation we had before. Get back to 8 guys, and I mean we played 10 guys in the first half yesterday, and you can't get in rhythm. You can't. I mean, I'd love to get everybody back healthy and kind of get back to what we were doing, not playing anybody much more than 26, 28 minutes, and getting back into firm rotations. We're just not there yet. We're just having to cobble it together, and there's a lot of there's a lot of different components that go into it. When guys don't know when they're going in, it was so seamless there for about 14, 15 games. It was just seamless. We had the same 8 guys. Everybody did what, it was just it was seamless, and it hasn't been that way just through injuries and through who's available and that sort of thing. And so we'd like to get back to that. I'd like to get back to that sooner rather than later, but we're certainly not at a point yet where we can do that. But it affects, one guy being out affects a lot more people than just the one guy or the one position. It affects a lot of different things, and affects the rotations. It affects practice. It affects a lot of different stuff. And I'd like to get back to where we were, but we're not at a point yet where we can do that.
Two-part question. One, you said I guess after the Tennessee game, you said it was the worst defense of the year. How did it compare to Saturday? And also, missing so many shots around the rim, was it more TCU doing, or your guys just missing easy, wide-open shots?
It's funny. I did an hour-and-a-half Zoom last night, me and a couple of my staff members. We went through every miss with, for lack of a better term, an expert who works with everybody in the NBA on finishing. And we were on the Zoom for an hour and a half. We were probably the only people not watching the football games. Because we were on that thing for so long. But we went through every finish and went through the balance issues and We're actually working on it right now. We got guys in the gym working on some finishing stuff right now. I certainly think, TCU was athletic and made some plays at the rim, but you go through it. I mean, this guy's one of the most detailed people I've ever been around. He's phenomenal. I mean, I feel like an idiot every time I get off the Zoom just because of how smart he is, and I feel like we haven't done enough to help our guys sometimes. But we used him a couple weeks ago with the turnover issue. We're getting better there. We had 9 at TCU, and he's an expert in really shooting, turnovers, footwork, and finishing. And he gave us some great ideas as it relates to floaters and touch shots and layups, and he gave us some really, really good ideas that we're going to start working on. The defense from Tennessee to this game, this game was much worse than Tennessee. Our transition defense let us down in this game. Not being able to get into the press was really, 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 really a problem for us. So this was, Tennessee, we gave up right at 1 point of possession. We gave up 1.17. That's an astronomical jump.
Efton had one of his maybe better games since January. Just how do you coach that position and him being young and obviously the competition getting so much tougher?
Yeah, look, Efton's going to be a really good player. There's just some strength and conditioning, some base things. He plays too high. Some different things like that some older, more mature guys. You'll have to look it up. I'm pretty sure Nasir Brooks, who we're getting ready to go against, I think he's like 26 years old. I'm not kidding. Like, I think he's, Ken, I don't know if, he is old. And, Efton, that's not a knock. I'm just saying, Efton, you got to understand, Efton's 19 years old going against a 20. I'm almost positive they said on a telecast he was 26. But, he's an older guy. And so, even let's say he's 24. That's a 5-year age difference. That is a huge difference. And we've got to get his, huh? 25. He's 25. Let's split the difference. He's 25. There you go. So, Efton's 19 years old. That's a 6-year age difference that we're getting ready to go against. That's asking him to do a lot. Just maturity, physically, mentally, all that sort of stuff. And so you look at somebody like, it's not time to jump off a bridge. You look at Kessler. He didn't do hardly anything at North Carolina last year. Between his freshman and sophomore year, he makes a huge jump. He's a huge piece of what Auburn's doing. You look at Castleton. Not this year, but last year, transfers to Florida, doesn't do anything hardly at Michigan, transfers to Florida, has a tremendous year. So, with these bigger guys, they're like offensive linemen in football. It takes a little longer to develop them. It's very rare you get one that's just absolutely ready to go, especially at the 5. You can find 4 men that are ready to go. That's a little bit different. But at the 5, it's very, very difficult to find those guys that are ready to go. And I think Efton's done a great job holding his own. I think he's working his tail off. He's trying. But it's a steep learning curve, and I got no doubt he's going to continue to get better because he's a hard worker. He puts time into it. He cares. He's going to continue to improve and continue to get better. But it would certainly, there's no doubt, it'd be great if we could get a little bit more production from him, a little bit more consistent production from him. But at the same time, this is a big adjustment for him. He's used to being 7 foot and taller than everybody else and pretty much older than everybody else. And now he's 7 foot, and there's a lot of other guys that look like him that are older than him and stronger than him and have more experience than him. And so you can't change that without, we got to get in the weight room this summer. We got to change his base. We got to get him lower. Like, there's a lot of stuff I know that we got to do, and he'll attack it and he'll do it because he's a great person. He's a great player, and we're gonna have to do that. And I think he can make that same jump those other guys made. It just takes some time.
Can you tell us who the NBA guy is you got, and how do you?
I don't want to use his name.
Okay,
I don't know if he wants me to.
How do you find a guy like that? Like, we're missing layups or blown layups. Let me Google blown layups. This guy.
No. I've known this guy for a long time. I've known him for a long time. I've lost contact, actually. I was talking to another NBA guy trying to fix one of our guys' shots. I was talking to a front office friend of mine, trying to fix one of our guys' shots. And he said, well, this is the best shot guy in the country. And I'm like, well, shoot, I know him. I've known him since he was at XYZ a dozen years ago. And I used to go to a clinic with him. And so we just he reconnected us. And, we've hired him as a consultant for us. And he's coached, he was a former college coach, yes. And yes, he does NBA stuff now. Oh, good. It's an abrupt change. I like that.